few years ago, I chopped down an apple tree in my yard. It was a very old apple tree, and it was just not really producing good apples anymore, and so I needed to get rid of it. Well, as I chopped it down, I saved some of the wood, and here is a log from that. It's been sitting around for, gosh, at least 3 or 4 years now. My intention was to cut it up into boards and see what would happen. I've never known anybody to work with apple wood before. I'm not really sure why. Well, I chopped it up, and it was my first attempt at ever trying to make boards, and they just warped horribly. And it was a disaster. So here it is, you know, a couple years later now, and I've decided I'm going to try to make things with these logs, but work with the log. Let the log be part of the project. So I decided to go all Roy Underhill on this project and just use a handsaw. That way I can really feel at one with the wood. And, well, also I won't dull my power saw blades on any dirt that's probably in that bark. And there are 2 beefy chunks of apple wood, and it's actually got kind of an interesting grain in there. I put a little mineral spirits on this one just to see what the grain would look like, and a little bit better, and hey, it's not too bad. And I like this one because I left these big huge knots on it, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with them now. I'm just shearing off one side of this log just to get a flat section. Well, it's getting there. You can see that I took the handsaw and I got down about this far, and I just wasn't able to square it off very well, and it was chipping away. So that's why I used the chisel. And, well, now I'll go ahead and use my power sander to smooth that out, because using hand tools sucks. And I'd like to issue a formal apology to all you hand tool users. I know you do a great job with hand tools, and I wish I was as good as you, but, well, I suck at hand tools. Well, thank you, Thomas Edison. Now, you keen-eyed viewers out there will have noticed that I used a power tool to cut the back off of this log. Why did I do that? Well, because I really don't think I could have cut that back off with a handsaw. So, I don't know. My blade's going to get dull. What are you going to do? So, anyways, you probably already also figured out that I'm going to be making a bandsaw box out of this chunk of wood. This will be the back, and then I'll try to cut a drawer in here. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of description on how to make a bandsaw box, because I have another video on that. Look for it on my YouTube channel. You'll find it on there. Everything you want to know about making bandsaw boxes. Alright, so I'm clamping up my bandsaw box. I've put the back on it, and over here, this is the drawer. I'm also clamping it up. It's actually upside down right now. One thing I've noticed about this apple wood, it's really surprising, is how much it looks like walnut. Check it out. I don't know if you can see the color there, but man, that's really similar to walnut. Alright, I'm going to put a few coats of spray lacquer all over this with the hopes that the lacquer will seal in the bark. Sidebar, guys. Is anybody ever able to open these things, these lids off of spray cans without just busting that? I mean, what is the point of these things? Well, there it is after several coats of lacquer, and I also applied some wax to it. There's the log bandsaw box. Alright, for this other chunk of wood, I'm going to make a different kind of box, just with a lid that swings open and no drawer. So this will be actually a little bit easier. All I'm going to do is cut off the bottom and the top. Okay, there's my little stump now. Now, of course, this will be the lid. I can set that aside. And the bottom right here, which will get glued back on once I take out this center section. And I'll cut that out just like you would any other type of bandsaw box. Now I just need to carefully glue the bottom back onto the log. The top piece, the lid, will swing open like that. So now that that bottom is all glued on, I just need to come up with a way to make a little swinging hinge on this box. Now, I thought about a number of different ways, including just putting a dowel in there and maybe some sort of a metal hinge or something, but since this is, you know, the whole idea is for it to look really rustic, I thought it would be cool to just stick a nail in there. Better yet, a rusty nail. Now, I've been looking around and I don't have any rusty nails. So I looked outside. I thought, well, maybe out here I would have something that's been around and weathered, but no, I guess I've used all stainless steel nails and everything I've done. But here are my tomato plants. Yeah, they're not doing very well this year. But anyways, I made these tomato cages a number of years ago, and these are all rusted. So I think I'll just bust off a piece of that and use it as a hinge. And I've clamped the top to the bottom just to hold it together, and I've made a little dot here where I want that little hinge to go, and ideally I can just drive a hole as far and as deep as I can. Okay, let's stick that in there and see what it looks like. Should fit way down in there. I can unclamp that, just test it out. Hey, it actually kind of works. Hey, not bad. Maybe I'll just bend it over like that and cut off this extra section. So I've taken that and I've bent it over at a sort of a severe angle, and it's where it goes like that. And then I think, well, let's see what happens here. I just try to pound that into the wood. Okay. Okay, now let's see what happens. Oh yeah, hey, that's pretty cool. And there is the rustic box. For my final project, I have decided to make an art piece because I really can't figure out anything else to do in such a limited time. So anyways, what I've done is I sliced up that log into a bunch of little sections here, and what I'm going to do is glue these together into this kind of stair-step pattern here, which, if you'll notice, is all sloping this way. I've got this all glued together, and I put a sturdy base on it so that it will hold up. Now again, since this is all angled down, well, I guess I should tell you what it's going to be first. It's going to be a candle holder. But if I put a candle on here like that, well, you can see it would just probably tip over and burn my whole house down. So what I've done is I cut this little wedge-shaped piece like so, and that'll go on the top. And then the candle can fit just like that. So let me glue that piece down, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the rest of it. Okay, now comes the fun part. So my idea is that a candle will sit on the top and that the wax would run down here and almost look like a waterfall. But, you know, I don't want to wait for that to happen, so I'm just going to make my own waterfall. I've got an old candle here, and yeah, man, a blowtorch. And I'm just going to drip it on down. Awesome! And there you have the blowtorch waterfall, and I can put a candle on top just like so. And with that, that brings me to the end of this video. So with that log, I was able to make a kind of a standard bandsaw box, a different type of box with a hinged lid on it, and my favorite, which is this candle holder waterfall that I really think is pretty cool. I'm going to be using that thing a lot. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. This was a lot of fun to make, and the whole point of this was to kind of get in touch with the wood itself and think creatively about woodworking. Woodworking doesn't have to be about just going to the big box store and buying boards and trying to assemble them. Use a log itself and you'll come up with some creative things, probably more creative things than I can. In fact, if you come up with some really good ideas to make with logs, send them to me. Post them on my Facebook page. I'd love to see them, and everybody can get some great ideas of things to make with logs. Woodworkingformeremortals.com. But wait, I got one more quick one. It's the rustic wall clock for people who don't care what time it is.